You see, I'm doing a top secret project right now. You might be interested. I'm actually putting together a step-by-step course. It's how to build a 7-figure build out in 7 days. Okay, I do it in 7 days. I got multiple examples I've been working on right now to show you how to take a different product or service. Whether you need more leads, you need more customers for a service-based business, maybe you're an attorney or a dentist, or you mow lawns, or you're in the trades and you need more houses to build, or maybe you have a product or a widget, something to sell online and you don't know. These all apply. You see, the system is the same, and I'm proving it out right now, and I'm putting together a step-by-step, in-depth course that's going to teach every one of these 20 items on exactly how I did it. But again, this channel, I'm doing massive free content, but in this course that I'm building, you'll actually follow along your progress. When you're done with the course, you'll start, maybe you have no idea. You have zero idea, or maybe you're already in business. But when you finish my course, you will have a build out that will generate 7 figures. And that will be with one product or one group of products as a kit. And then you get to go back and repeat the process, because the more that you repeat, the more that you refine and define, the faster and more fluid that you get. I'm going to give you a sneak peek into that right now. Stay tuned, here we go. Do you know what the #1 reason that new businesses and new ideas fail is? These businesses and these ideas don't have enough customers. They don't have enough fuel. And close behind that is they can't control the speed in which they move. You see, my wife and I started our own online business in 2017. We started from our living room, and within 26 months, we generated over $26 million because of that exact online store. Throughout the years of trial and error, failure after failure, we put together the pieces and found the secrets in each step to online success. Hey, my name's Mike Quist, and I'm not like anybody you've ever heard in teaching how to build the steps to an online business. You see, I started as a remodeling kitchen and bath contractor, and in 2017, back then, I still barely knew how to turn on a computer. Because of my DIY approach and my simplistic approach to understanding software and hardware and testing and trying out new advertising techniques, I actually found success. Big time success. I actually spent millions of dollars along the way in testing, because these millions of dollars had a positive return on investment. I understood the value of each step because we grew it the hard way, really hard way. I took the do-it-yourself approach to building a business online. I did this because I wanted to build something that I would be proud to shop from myself. I love to keep it simple, and I also know that common sense isn't always so common. There is so many tripwires, so much software and hardware and things that you think that you need when building a business that are really not even necessary. Guys, people still buy from companies that they know, like, and trust. And it's that simple. Don't overcomplicate the whole thing with crazy software, crazy hardware, hiring it out, hiring agencies, and spending thousands, if not millions of dollars trying to get an idea from concept to complete. It doesn't need to be that hard. Remember this, not everything that counts can actually be counted, and not everything that can be counted actually counts. One of our secrets is my wife and I knew that we needed to take massive action daily, and we needed to take that action in the things that actually mattered. In this video right here, I'm gonna drop knowledge bombs that come straight from the vault that took me 20 years to figure out. I'm talking serious ideas that are gonna change the way that you think about your own business and your own ideas. Why am I doing this? Because this is the most valuable information that I can offer to anybody who's on their own journey to try to be their own boss, build their own life, and control their own future. Guys, if that's you, if you believe that you should be your own boss and you should bring your idea from concept to complete, stay tuned. Enjoy the video. All right, I got 20 ideas that I'm gonna drop, and I'm gonna briefly go over these. And if you stay to the end, I'm gonna drop 3 bonus bombs that are gonna make you think, oh my goodness, did that really just happen? Is that how simple it really can be? Guys, stay to the end, and I want you to tell me which one of these ideas speaks to you the most. Let me know in the comments below. All right, let's get started. Okay. #1, the idea factory. I created a system and an equation that measured certain metrics. You see, I measure velocity in an idea. How much are people actually searching this on Google, Facebook, YouTube, the major search engines? What are people actually searching on that topic? If you can plug an idea in based on price and margin and different metrics that you know count, remember, not everything that counts can be counted because there's a little bit of creativity that is involved in this. So when you have an idea and you know how to plug it into an equation and you can get a mathematical answer, is this idea worth approaching? Is there enough people that care about the problem that you're solving? Because see, every business is in business because they do one thing. They solve a problem. And something that I heard from a mentor a long time ago is the size of the problem that you solve directly determines the size of your bank account. So if you solve really big problems, for instance, maybe you're a brain surgeon and somebody needs their brain fixed and you're able to fix it, you get paid really, really well for that. But if you're afraid of problems, if you're the type of person that says, I don't want any problems, you shouldn't have your own business because business owners solve problems. All right, so the Idea Factory is something that you can build to make sure and vet your ideas before you get started, because not every idea deserves your time, talents, and interest and fuel pushed behind that idea, because the biggest the outcome can be may not even be worth it. So really consider something before you put your time into it. That's number one. All right, Hall of Fame domains. How do you pick a name after you have an idea? Or if you're already in business, do you have a domain name? Do you have a business name that balances SEO with branding? Okay, does the brand make sense and does the SEO make sense? And I learned a long time ago that the shorter the answer, the shorter the syllables, the easier to remember, the more that it applies to your business, guys, that's the way you want to go. So what's your Hall of Fame domain? Remember, don't waste time on the things that don't necessarily count to the moon. You can always change this, but you need a Lightspeed logo. How do you create a logo super fast without overcomplicating it or thinking that people are actually going to buy your product based on just your logo? It's so simple to create a logo these days. And remember, you can spend a lot of time in something like this, but that's not where your time should be spent. So do a logo in Lightspeed. Website in a weekend. Would you believe me if I told you that I actually build my sites when I have a new idea in a weekend? I've actually developed a system to not overcomplicate this, but to try an idea, just to skew just one product, and how I build that landing page has been Mike approved, and I think science approved, that it works. Why? Because of the way that I put together that page. You see, people want to be told why they need the product, what problem does it solve, they want to know how to use it, feel comfortable that they can do it too, and that their product will work to solve their problem, the product they're looking at. So website in a weekend is an undercomplicated website that doesn't overcomplicate the search on your site. There's not so many buttons. There's not all these squirrel syndrome buttons to run across the page. You want to keep the customer focus, because typically my customers are sold based on content that they saw. They come to the website and they buy. That's really just the checkout. This is where they buy my product and where they could find support. So use your website accordingly and don't overcomplicate it. Build your website in a weekend. And I know how to do that too. All right, on my website, the most important thing I have is a sales video. You see, a picture's worth 1,000 words, but a video, it's worth 1,000,000. So if you can build a sales video that goes into a certain order, problem, solution, and then 3 supporting problems, 3 supporting solutions, you need testimonials, you need product knowledge, you need to show how it works, you need to ask and create a sense of urgency. Building the sales video is really simple once you understand the process. And remember, if you want to 100x your time, plan 1 minute, it saves you 10 minutes. If you plan an hour, it could save you an entire day. Instead of just guessing and shooting in the dark, make some notes. That's what I did, and that's what I'm going off of right now. You need to understand 7-figure ads. You see, advertising is fuel to your website. People aren't going to search your website just because you created one. That's why the weight of a website really doesn't matter as much as people think it does. It's the advertising that drives traffic to that website that really matters. And I've developed a system that has tested ads. You see, I've spent millions, not hundreds of thousands, but millions of dollars on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram ads. Why? because they give me a return. If I put $1 in an ATM and it spits back $2, am I going to continue to do that? Yes. If it'll take a $100 bill and give me $200 back, yes, because these search engines are built for this exact reason. The algorithm wants you to become an advertiser. And when you're an advertiser, it does a really good job at finding the people who would probably be interested in your ad. But if your ad isn't a 7-figure ad and doesn't understand how to narrate the message, and you don't solve the problems in the right order with the right speed and the right edutainment, you see people want to be educated and entertained. I know this secret to 7-figure ads. Do you? Okay, you need to know that secret. Next one, top secret simple software that saves. If you need software, there's software out there that's DIY approved. Why? Remember, I didn't know how to barely turn on a computer in 2017, let alone build a website, create thumbnails, crop pictures, change lighting, do all the things that you need to do with text and with all these other things to create a nice looking ad, website, email. All the techie things that I knew nothing about really aren't that hard with the right software. And the right software doesn't need to be very expensive. You see, there's so many businesses online right now that are selling software that's very expensive. Now, if I know anything about a technology, the longer it's around, the quicker it comes down. And you don't need to overcomplicate this, and I haven't. And I have a whole list of simple software that I use, and I use it all the time to edit my videos, to create those thumbnails. I use it to take photos of my products. I use it in everything. Actually, right now in making this video, I'm using, well, this is hardware. That's next on the list. And the next on the list is hardware hacks, all right? What do you use for hardware that also isn't overcomplicated? You see, people get hung up in the whole system of buying gear. You could buy cameras and tripods and lighting and computers and laptops and microphones, and you could spend so much money on hardware that you don't need. And you know what? I got drawers full of hardware I don't need, and I've been working on a hardware hacks list that lists the hardware that I use so that you don't have to go waste your money on something that may be really, really cheap or really expensive. You get to find that sweet spot right in the middle of quality and price. You see, when you're starting a business, you need to, next, generate fantastic traffic. You need traffic to your website, not just paid traffic from ads, but you need to generate organic traffic. You see, I learned a long time ago, and I wrote about this in my book, and I said, you gotta give to get. When you give away valuable information, you generate valuable traffic. Why? Because you gave, and now you're getting in return. People want to learn more. I'm giving you my list of 20 items. Plus, if you stay behind, I'm going to give you 3 bonus items. I'm giving you these items that literally took me not since 2017 when I started my online business. These are things that I learned from doing home shows and in-home estimates and in-home sales and door-to-door knocking, asking if they want my painting services and all these other businesses that I've worked my entire life. I've bundled them into these 20 tips, tools, and tricks. You got to dominate with data-driven decisions. What I love is analytics. I love looking at the numbers that my ads, my website, my campaigns, my videos, what kind of data do they spit back to me? I could find out when I lose interest, when people leave a video, when they leave my website, if they don't buy. I can actually read metrics now like kind of a tech nerd. I'm pretty proud of myself. But you don't need to do that. You just need to know which data-driven decision you need to make instead of making it on emotion. Because when we can mathematically calculate what our return is going to be, we don't need to play with scared money. We get to advertise carefully and not waste our budget by making the right data-driven decisions. What's one of the biggest things a business needs? It needs referrals. Referrals are lifeblood. And my next subject is referrals on demand. Do you need referrals all the time? Absolutely. If you're going to stay in business, you absolutely need referrals on demand. You also need reviews. You need to understand the importance of those 5-star reviews on the platforms that aren't fake. You could fake your own referrals on your website, your own reviews, but you can't on Google and Facebook and Amazon, some of these other platforms. And I could teach you how to get referrals on demand. You see, I'm putting this list together. I'm telling you what's important. And again, which one speaks to you the most and which ones do you want to learn more about? Because you're on the right channel. Mike Quist, right here, MikeQuist.com. Subscribe, ring the bell to get notified every time I have a new video, because these are the tips and topics I'm probably going to be discussing in the near future. So let me know which ones are you most interested in learning more about, because we could deep dive each of these subjects pretty far. Email marketing made easy. You see, everybody used to open every email when email was new. Now you barely open any emails. It goes to promotions and spam and all these other email folders, and you typically only open the ones that you recognize. How do we get past that? And how do we have emails that people can't wait to open? And what are the other avenues like text that people open all the time that we could tap into to stay in touch with the people that we got on our list or we got interested originally in our product, so we don't have to spend advertising dollars to get back in front of the same client over and over again. That's also something that I've mastered. Well, maybe not mastered. I've gotten really, really good at it. You know, all these things combined, there's nobody in the world that is better than I am at actually telling you how to do this, because I've done this already for people that I've mentored over and over again. I've actually said these same things over and over, and I go, why don't I build this as a course that's evergreen that people can follow step by step? So A, I don't have to spend so much time on the phone with my great friends, but B, we could change the way that the whole world thinks about e-commerce. Because last time I checked, that's where everything is going. So let me help you, help yourself. Keep listening. Here we go. Elevate with upsells. You see, there's a perfect time for an upsell, and then there's one where it turns the customer completely off. There's a fine balance there. You don't want to lose trust, because trust is the hardest thing to earn. You know, something I said a long time ago when I was in Las Vegas doing a speech for how to grow with YouTube and how to grow your business, I said it's harder to get between $0 and $1 from a customer than it is between $1 and $1,000. Why? Because that first dollar that you get where somebody pulls your credit card out and trusts you enough to buy something on your site, that's very hard to build that trust. But when you fulfill that trust, they trust you. They believe that you'll ship it to them. They know that you're being honest with your product description, and you're going to send them that the second time, because now they'll become a customer for life, and that lifetime value of the customer goes up and up with the more trust that you create. So how do you elevate with upsells? You keep trust and you don't abuse that. All right, next subject, not your grandma's affiliate program. You really need to bring the right affiliates along. And I made this mistake. I actually opened my affiliate program to anybody and everybody, and that wasn't the right move. I should have done something completely different, and now I am. And I could teach you how to do that so that you maximize your affiliate program and you don't pay for eyeballs and attention from a customer twice. You see, if somebody already knows about me and is already going to buy, whether they're referred with a coupon code or not, I shouldn't have an affiliate tied to that. I have the best way to use influencers as affiliates that have audience that you're not tapping into, and I define that, and I actually have a system and a letter and a way to contact these influencers, and this is how I've made friends with people in high places. Banging brand deals. You see, brand deals are changing advertising as a whole. See, how many people watch commercials on television anymore? It's like non-existent. Everybody fast forwards. It's all streamed. It's all on demand. How are we getting the message out there for other companies? It's brand deals. Don't underestimate the power of what you can actually do when you create an audience and you have a brand deal and you make a deal with a company that supports your product or service, maybe something that you don't buy. The collaboration is amazing where you can take that. So brand deals are really, really important. Stacking success secrets. So once you figure something out, should you move on to the next thing? No, when you figure something out, you stack upon it and upon it and upon it. And sometimes it can get really boring in how you build your business, but sometimes boring is great. Boring is what brings in and grows your business and puts your bank account in the green. You want to stack success when you find the secrets. And sometimes the secrets are pretty narrow. So when you find them, stay in that lane. And that's something that I learned the hard way many times. I got a thick skull, but I could teach you to avoid that. And by watching what I tell you, you can avoid what I did and do the opposite and save many years on your success stacking. This is probably the most dangerous slippery slope in an entire business, is how to fund it. I made some really smart financial moves early on that massively helped me later on. So how you fund your business and how you get the money to go into business is really important. One of the pro tips here is don't borrow money if you don't have to, and you can get very creative on how you build that business. So if you're going into business, you shouldn't really be using other people's money if you don't have to, and if you have to, you might want to rethink your idea. That's really important. I heard from a mentor that said, if you get a problem thrown in your lap that day as a business owner, the first thing you should do is say, it's my fault. When you take the blame for all the problems and you say it's my fault, your brain actually reacts accordingly. It says, okay, if it's my fault, how do I fix it? But see, if you blame it on other people, it's their fault. You stop looking for solutions and you start looking on how to remove that person. So that's not the best way to go. You got to think no excuses. Typically what I do is I'll flip my story. Even though I know it's probably not my fault, I'll flip the story. If everything's my fault, then I flip it and I really start to pay attention to what the root of the problem is, because as we fix those problems, remember, it directly affects our bank account. So that one's called no excuses, flip your story. All right, what if you could 100x your time? What's the most valuable asset that we all possess? It's our time. We all have the same amount of it. We have 24 hours, and what we do with it determines our destiny. What if you could become 100 times more effective than you are right now with your time? When you can do that, you can get 100 times the amount done than your competitors. What if you could only 10x your time? Is that still pretty good? Or 5x or double the effectiveness you are with your time? Because there's time hacks that you can do that do actually 100x. You get it done 100 times faster than it normally would have taken you. And remember, I've done this in importance, order of importance. So with the right idea, you already save so much time in banging your head against the wall on the wrong goose, squirrel, like chasing the wrong dream, okay? When you chase the wrong thing, you got to rewind and come and do it again. But everything in your life can be X'd up. You can really save time by understanding process procedure. All right, the lever to 1 million subscribers. See that plaque right there? 1 million subscribers. Why is that vanity metric important, and how do you actually get one of those? How do you do that on any social media platform you're on? Or how do you grab attention, eyeballs, create influence, and become the authority in your space? How do you do that? That's really important to know as you're building an online business. And I've done it. And I did it with no training. I'm not a video guy. I certainly have a face for radio. I can teach you step by step how to do that, because it will pay dividends in your business, and you could use that as a good tool to get in front of different people, okay? Oceanfront exit strategy. You can actually plan your exit before you start. And when you do this in business, which I did not, I had no plan to ever sell my online business. But had I known that was going to happen, I could have been more strategic. And these other businesses that I'm building right now as we speak, I've absolutely learned from my past, and I'm planning the exit before it gets going. That's really important on how you do certain things, because it will pay off when it's time to get your oceanfront exit strategy. Have you ever heard it said, you don't want to be in the sales business, you want to be in the reorder business? Because when people are reordering, you don't have to earn their eyeballs again. Remember those referrals? It's a self-referral. How do you get in the reorder business, and how do you pick products and services that create residual opportunity or repeat buyers? Think about that when you're thinking of your idea, and it'll change your bottom line. It becomes much easier to become far more profitable when you're in the reorder business instead of finding new customers every single day, week, month, and year. Okay. You're in the bonus section. All right, you're in the bonus section. Good job. You've waited this long. And remember, I'm actually building this out step by step. I need to know, are you interested in modules that actually are tied to action steps? If I walked you through step by step by step by step, I gave you 3 minutes of talking, homework assignment, 3 minutes homework assignment, 5 minutes of talking, homework, 1 minute homework. And we worked through each of these modules. And by the end of each module, you actually had something to show for your business. I would be building a business alongside you as we go. And when you're done with this course, you would have a business that could generate 7 figures. Is that something that you would be interested in? I'm building that. I'm doing that right now. I'm so excited about it. It's the most passionate project I've ever been a part of. And I've brought on some massively valuable team members. I'm teaming up with the best in the world at their subjects. This is going to be epic. And there's nobody more equipped and fit to give you this information than I am. I know how to do this because I've done it. It's not theory. It's practice, it's practical application, dumbed down to the DIY level, because that's what I am, a do-it-yourselfer. And remember, analysis paralysis kills people to the point that their education does them a disservice. If you're overeducated and think everything has to be perfect and all the lights need to be green before you go, you're gonna have that analysis paralysis. I was actually naive enough to think this ain't that hard. And I learned step by step by step what I didn't know. And had I know all the things that you got to be really good at, I may have been a little frightened. But if I would have had this course that I'm delivering, goodness gracious, it would have saved me years. And I would have made millions more than I did. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed all of this so far. Give me a thumbs up. Give me a like, subscribe, and let's go through the bonus round. All right, number 1, timing beats speed and power. A good friend of mine told me this quote over and over again: timing beats speed and power. I can be the most powerful guy, I could be the most fast guy, but if I got the right timing, anybody's getting knocked out. The right timing, and I could show you how to manipulate the timing in the market on the things that you bring to market. Because remember, we're only 90 days ahead of our first competitor. That's why you got to move fast and not be handcuffed by a development team in a website build off that's going to take months, if not a year, to then be phase 1, and now it's time for phase 2, and they're going to charge you, and you got to get this software and this hardware, and your mic isn't good enough, and it's every excuse in the world, and it's supply chain, and it's COVID's fault, and it's everybody's fault. When you control the own speed and need in which you go, you are able to own your own destiny. I actually built my own website. I built my own website where the website builder that I used, I became the largest growing and the largest grossing business on the entire platform. The largest business. I got made fun of on my website, and we actually had it professionally made again by website developers, and we A/B tested it. And you know what happened? My little rudimentary website that I built myself outperformed them because of the simplistic nature in which it is. I understood that I built the website according to the campaign and the product, not over trying to do an all-in-one. It's like walking into Costco, where do I go? If you walk into the right aisle and the product's right in front of you, you don't have a bunch of places to go. You have a decision. It's 50-50. I get it or I don't. It's all based on price and need at that point. So guys, timing beats speed and power. Bonus number 2, course correct as needed. You see, when we went to the moon, when we took our rocket to the moon, we were only on course 3% of the time. They're constantly course correcting to land on the moon. Pretty interesting, right? So look at our life. You're not going to make the right decisions in all of your decisions. You just got to make a decision to gather enough data to make the next decision and course correct accordingly. But if you think you got to make the right decision now for like a year from now, you're out of your mind. You can't do that. Make a decision, gather information, and remake that decision. Get very, very good at saying I made the wrong decision by 60% or I was 20% off. Let's do this. Let's then zag. Let's zig. And listen to other people that are smarter than you, because remember, if you're the smartest one in the room, you're in the wrong room. So get in the room with really smart people, course correct as needed, and don't wait. Course correct quickly. Don't overthink it. Don't beat yourself up if you made the wrong choice. Just give yourself permission to make a new one. Okay, biggest bonus of the day, probably the biggest tip of the day, finding mentorship. If you find the right mentor, you see, Find somebody who's where you hope to be. And guys, when you do that, like me, I could call my mentors. I have different mentors for different subjects in my life, whether it's physical or spiritual or financial or marital, whatever advice, whatever need I have, I look for somebody who's in a position in their life that I want to be eventually. So I ask them and I give back to them. I find out what it is I can do for them. So let me know, are you looking for that mentor? Are these subjects you want to learn more about? Did you find value in this video? What was the one that spoke most to you? And would you be interested in this course? I'm going to be offering this course. My goal is to be done very soon. So guys, let me know, are you interested? And if you are interested, go to my website right now, MikeQuist.com. On the homepage, I'm going to put an opt-in that says, I am very interested in your course coming up. Please send me info as soon as you can. And I'm going to send you the info so that as soon as I'm ready to launch that, you'll have first crack at it, because I'll tell you what, I'm going to offer it at a crazy price. And then that price is going to go up. But I'm going to get a lot of momentum behind this course, and then I'm going to raise the price because I'm constantly going to be making it better. And looking for feedback. I'm creating my OGs, my originals. I'm creating my tribe right now because this thing's going to the moon. I'm actually going to be we're actually planning masterminds. We're planning annual conferences. It's going to have an award system. So as you make your first 1,000, your first 10,000, your first 100,000, and your first million, we'll have our own awards. We're going to have our own tribe. We're going to have our own crew. We're going to mentor one another. We're going to have group coaching. I can't wait to see what you build. Let me know if you're in and you're on board. Go to MikeQuist.com, opt in to learn more. And as I develop it, you'll be the first to know. Now you know. I hope you enjoy the video. Until next time, remember, from Mike Quist, you got this. I'll see you on the next video. Aloha.